So Jonathan Hickman's Ultimate Spider-Man is back, and in this series so far we see 3 major storylines come head to head. Spider-Man not only being friends and allies with the Green Goblin, but the Green Goblin being Harry Osborn, Uncle Ben being alive and teaming up with J. Jonah Jameson to start their own newspaper firm just called The Paper, and Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, working with an alternate version of Reed Richards known as The Maker, and his people to further control New York and the world at large. Now my name is AJ, this is the Hero Informer, and let's get into it. Interestingly enough, we pick up deep underground Oscorp in a secret facility, where we see some guy in a lab coat working on the Green Goblin suit, which in this universe is just an alternate version of an Iron Man suit repurposed and recolored into the Green Goblin. And this super genius in a lab coat is none other than this universe's version of Otto Octavius, or Dr. Octopus. But in this version so far at least, he isn't a villain, as he is directly working with Spider-Man and Harry Osborn to further their goals and uncover the true villains of this world. And why are they even working with Dr. Octavius? Well, simply put, he is really smart, and in my opinion, in the Marvel Universe, his intelligence is really underrated, as even in this universe, he was hired and called to reprogram, reconstruct, repurpose Stark technology, which obviously is no easy task, as Otto himself goes on to explain what is going on, telling Spider-Man and Harry Osborn that both of their suits are both Stark tech, but they were built using 2 completely types of engineering. Simplifying it, he calls the Green Goblin suit Stark 1.0 and Spider-Man's suit Stark 2.0. As he goes on to further explain, starting with Harry, that his super suit is basically a dedicated piece of very sophisticated hardware, very top of the line, flawlessly constructed, but it's more than just a perfect war machine. It has navigation, propulsion, onboard AI, and as a singular piece of technology, he can get inside it, customize it, change it to whatever he needs to. But Stark Tech 2.0, or Spider-Man's Pico Tech suit, is multiple steps beyond that. You see, the suit itself is highly adaptable, transformative as well. Otto hasn't even begun to scratch the surface of what it's fully capable of, as he takes out of his coat jacket a high-tech syringe, poking Spider-Man, taking a piece of the Pico Tech suit with him. And I mean, even though Otto is on their side for now, giving who historically is a supervillain a piece of your suit to examine and try to uncover isn't the best idea. As we have literally seen previously, Harry Osborn was able to hijack into Peter's suit and control it, taking off his mask and exposing his secret identity. But Dr. Octavius goes on to further say that the amazing thing about their suits is they've been running in some kind of safe mode, meaning they have only scratched the surface of what is fully possible with either suits, and that they actually have an onboard AI that you can use for, well, anything. Combat analysis, life support, any kind of higher problem solving function. The only issue is they just need to turn it on and give them a profile to map to. As you see, the AI isn't just some sort of personality, it is more than that. It is more akin to a base level consciousness, pretty advanced. And because of this, Otto is able to program and code different types of archetypes into the consciousness, giving them many options to pick from. But Spider-Man says he likes to talk to himself, so for the AI in his suit, it would be his voice and his personality. But Harry himself has a different idea for his AI. As you see, because Otto is able to program one from scratch, given enough data from historical records and personal records, Harry Osborn wants Otto Octavius to make the AI in the form of his father, Norman Osborn, who previously, as we have seen, was assassinated by the Kingpin along with his wife. And while Peter Parker and Harry Osborn are doing what they're doing, we then cut over to see what their wives are doing. As you see in this universe, the Ultimates universe, Peter Parker is married to Mary Jane, and Harry Osborn is married to Gwen Stacy. But we see them in the heart of New York, walking over to inspect the new building that is known as The Paper, the latest news entity created by Uncle Ben and Jameson. But as they get to the actual building itself, the doors are not only locked, but there's a note on the door, saying that they had to leave and something important came up, as we go to find out what exactly it is, as we see these 2 older men walking in some dark, shady parking ramp, coming to meet a mysterious individual, an individual with some information that will greatly benefit them. And this mysterious individual is none other than Robbie Robertson, who I mean isn't a major Spider-Man character, but he's usually depicted as working within the Daily Bugle and for Jameson himself. But in this universe, Jameson quit, and so Robbie right now is working as the inside man, getting them scoops from within the Bugle and giving this new duo information that frankly would never see the light of day at the Bugle. Because here the Bugle is ran and orchestrated by the Kingpin, and what exactly they are given and what kind of information is this, well, we aren't explicitly shown, but we will probably find out soon enough. Speaking of the Kingpin himself though, we then move over to one specific building in Manhattan, a black hole as some would say, a building that officially doesn't exist. And inside this building we see none other than the Kingpin, being greeted by a mysterious man in a ponytail, a man who has connections to the Maker and technically is above Fisk himself. And as we find out, this ponytail man is none other than this universe's version of Captain Britain. But as such, Captain Britain then questions Fisk on his plans and what is going on. As you remember Bullseye from earlier in the story, well, he was one of the agents from the Ponytail Man, and that same Bullseye was defeated and imprisoned by none other than the new duo Spider-Man and Green Goblin, which they are proving to be a bigger threat than the villains even thought possible at first. And because of this, the Ponytail Man came bearing more gifts, as he brings out an entire team of Bullseyes, which it seems in this universe, Bullseye isn't just one specific man. It is either an organization of agents, or maybe it's a clone of one man, who knows. But all we know is there's multiple of them. And as this Ponytail Man offers them the Fisk to take care of Spider-Man, Green Goblin in their whole operation, interestingly enough, the Kingpin says no. Now you can call it ego, you can call it pride, or you can just call it the Kingpin getting personal, wanting to finish what he started himself. As the Kingpin goes on to further explain, saying, I do not need them. I know my adversaries can be beaten, and I know how to do it, and I will do so on my terms. I just don't have one plan, I have 6 of them. Now there's 2 ways you can interpret this. Either you can interpret this as Fisk being overprepared, having multiple plans, or you can interpret this as an Easter egg for the Sinister Six. Either way, we move on from them and pick up with the aforementioned Spider-Man and Green Goblin, which we seem to pick up in the middle of a battle with them fighting each other for whatever reason. Spider-Man knocking Green Goblin hard across the face, hard enough that Green Goblin even says that he felt that, which is impressive for multiple reasons. The biggest of all is that this Green Goblin suit was an Iron Man suit. But as we get more context of what is even going on and why are they coming to blows, this was all needed in the process of activating their AIs, as they now have a baseline for the suit's performance in tactical scenarios, and the next and final step is literally turning them on. But it seems this isn't just a on and off switch, no, once on it is permanently in the suit, and to turn it off for good, you will need to reboot, restart, and recalibrate their entire suits. And with that, Otto Octavius starts the process, as the effects of the AI are immediate, with it turning on and talking to them. Firstly, we see the Green Goblin's AI, in the form of his father Norman Osborn, talk to Harry, telling him to, simply put, to fight Spider-Man. And of course, Spider-Man not wanting to, well, beat up his new friend and ally, tells Harry that maybe that isn't the best idea. But no, Harry insists, telling him to hit him. And so with that, they face off, getting ready to engage in a battle. A friendly battle, but still a battle nonetheless. And as the fight begins, we see Spider-Man is the first one to attack, leaping up towards Harry Osborn. But Harry, quicker than ever, grabs Spider-Man by the arm, pulling him in for a mean punch across the face, knocking him back. But Spider-Man mid-air is quick enough to get his bearings and firing a web line at Harry. And keep in mind, while this entire fight is going on, an AI version of Norman Osborn, a relatively close version of Norman Osborn, is in Harry's head talking to him, telling Harry that a fight isn't won after one good punch, and to never let his guard down, going further in depth saying, there's always someone out there trying to beat you, hurt you, take everything from you. They killed me, what do you think they'll do to you? And then the AI Norman begins to call Harry soft. As you see on panel, Harry getting webbed, beat, and hit to the ground by Spider-Man. So Harry tries to retaliate by firing one of his lasers, but Spider-Man is faster, dodging it effortlessly and coming back in close for another hit to the face. And while Spider-Man starts wailing on him, the AI version of Norman Osborn starts to mimic and get close to the real version of Norman. As he goes on to tell Harry, I've always wondered just how weak you were, Harry, and I'm beginning to think I know. You're not just avenging me, son, you're embarrassing me. And these words just hit a little too close to home for Harry, as he starts to get mad, angry, as his chest beam starts powering up, and he stops holding back, firing it straight into Spider-Man's chest as he yells out. And as the dust clears and the fight begins to wind down, we then see Spider-Man start to get up, with his own AI Peter in his head telling him that their diagnostics levels are in acceptable range and that they'll be fine. But Harry needs therapy. And while these two heroes are hashing out their own little battle, something begins to register on Otto's computer, a third signal, not from either of these two heroes' suit, but something similar. And while Peter and Harry are having a little makeup moment, making up from the little battle here, Otto yells out that there is a problem, that whatever is locking onto their signal is coming in quick and coming in fast, and there's nothing he can do about it. As a bright flash of light flashes in the back, and a voice rings out. And as you see, it is none other than Iron Man himself, Tony Stark. As he goes on to tell Spider-Man specifically, I told you I will be back in 6 months, and here I am. I just have one question for you. Are you a hero yet? As if you remember from all the way in the beginning of the series, there was a box left from Peter. A box with not only the spider that gave him his spider powers, but also his suit with a recording of Tony Stark telling him in 6 months' time he will be back and for Spider-Man to become the hero he was always meant to be. And it seems that time has finally come, with Tony arriving to recruit Spider-Man in his war against the Maker. But will Spider-Man and the Green Goblin team up and join Iron Man? Who knows, as this is the end of this issue and video. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like or comment down below, as I will be happy to talk to you guys about it. Also subscribe if you're new and enjoy this type of content. Now this was the Hero Informer, and thank you for watching.